Alright, here we go with another episode of the Kevin On series. This one is Kevin On, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is now 10 years old and has 19 films. The first of which is Iron Man. This is the best film of the entire series. Iron Man is such a perfect film that it launched this entire universe of films that we have. I always thought Tom Cruise should have played the role of Tony Stark, and now my opinion has changed. Next one up. The Incredible Hulk. The Hulk doesn't look good. The bad guy is very boring. It should have been the leader. Enough about that. Then we get the sequel to Iron Man. Not as good. Mickey Rourke playing a combination of Whiplash and Omega Red. But they added the Black Widow. And then we get Captain America. Now, this is my favorite. You know, when this movie came out, a friend of mine that I've known since kindergarten posted on Facebook, "Just saw Captain America. I won't get those 2 hours back of my life." Well, if she had liked the film, would she have gotten her 2 hours back? In what scenario would you get your 2 hours back? Then we get Thor. When they were making this movie, I thought this is where it all falls apart. Just didn't make sense. Boy, everyone really took to Loki. Oh, now I get it. Okay, this is gonna work. Then we get the Avengers. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye. You don't need to hear from me about this movie. Everybody loves the Avengers movie. That's it. And then we get Iron Man 3. Enough about Iron Man 3, because now we get to Thor 2. The girl from that show about the two dumb waitresses. I don't know, whatever. Captain America the Winter Soldier. I like the movie, okay? In this movie you get Captain America and Falcon. The bad guy that would show up like every 3 issues was Batroc. They included Batroc. It's hard for me to talk about this because I enjoyed the film like the rest of them, and then I wanted to move on. It has been elevated by everybody else as if this was the film that cured cancer. It's not the greatest thing ever. Enough about the Winter Soldier. Anyways, I'm getting angry now. I don't know why. Because now we get to Guardians of the Galaxy. Who the heck knew anything about Guardians of the Galaxy? All of these characters, all of the storylines in all of this, Thanos, the Infinity Gems, the Infinity Gauntlet, everything came from the Silver Surfer comic. Drax in here was Silver Surfer's friend, Drax the Destroyer. It's just so weird to see all of this play out with no Silver Surfer. I guess it doesn't really matter. Guardians of the Galaxy is the most fun. If anyone were to say, recommend one of these to me, watch Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody on the face of the earth will enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy. It is impossible to not like this movie. Yeah, that's right. Now we get to, the second Avengers movie, Age of Ultron. Oh yeah, you get the Vision and Scarlet Witch. Ultron was the classic Avengers bad guy. Turns out now people don't like this movie. People are weird. It's a good movie. I guess. I mean, I don't remember what. Now we get to Ant-Man. He was created at the end of the 50s, actually. He predates the Marvel Universe, oddly enough. I don't want to get into all that. It's a lot of stories, and they all suck. He's a horrible character. It's a horrible comic book. It has no redeeming qualities. And then they come out with this movie starring Paul Rudd, a guy I don't like. And lo and behold, they blow me away because what an awesome movie. Now I like Ant-Man. Now I like Paul Rudd. Everything in this works. Oh, now I get it. And that brings us to Civil War, the third Captain America movie, but it feels more like a third Avengers movie because it has everybody in it, plus new characters like Spider-Man not being his own character. He is kind of like a sidekick to Iron Man. My brain has a hard time dealing with that, but I'll survive. Civil War is the heroes violently almost beat each other to death. How do you come back from that? Well, I guess if your entire life is based on might makes right and solve every problem with your fist, then you can almost murder your friends with your bare hands and then bounce back from it like nothing happened. Or maybe not, because they don't really bounce back, do they? They split up, they go their separate ways. Huh. But that brings us to Doctor Strange. I love this movie. This is a perfect movie. Perfect movie. Bam. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Boy, this Guardians of the Galaxy. Wow. My favorite crossover comic series in my entire life is called Secret Wars 2. And it's all about a character named the Beyonder, who I felt should have been put on film, and David Hasselhoff should play the Beyonder because he looks exactly like him. This movie actually has David Hasselhoff in it, but he doesn't play the Beyonder, but it's okay. If you don't watch anything else, watch Guardians of the Galaxy. When you're done with that, you're gonna be begging to see the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And when you're done with this, you still don't need to see any other Marvel movies because they don't cross over yet. Now we get to Spider-Man. Okay, he gets his own movie. Or does he? Because who's that? That's Iron Man. Yeah, this Spider-Man is more like the Marvel Universe equivalent of Robin. We're almost at the end because now we get to Thor Ragnarok. This is the third Thor movie. It's actually a Thor and Hulk buddy film kind of thing. As you get into these films, you start to have them not be so centralized on a character because it's part of a bigger narrative. Civil War feeling like an Avengers, a third Avengers movie, except it didn't have Thor or the Hulk. They were in space. So now the third Thor movie gets those characters and shows what they're doing. And they make it like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So they're really tying everything together. That's as far as the home video releases because we gotta wait a week until Black Panther comes out on home video. But I did see it in the theater. Let me talk about Black Panther. I saw it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But it's being treated as the greatest work of art that the human race has ever created. I don't think in real life you can become a civilization more advanced than anyone else on the entire planet if you're completely closed off. You're not exchanging ideas and technology and the marketplace and this and that. How do you grow beyond everyone else if you've imprisoned yourself? They reverse engineered a meteor. The rest of the world is reverse engineering all of the alien technology from the aliens that came in the Avengers movie, right? And over there in Wakanda, in the Black Panther movie, they got like a meteor that fell made of vibranium metal. And I guess it's the most valuable thing in the world, but they don't really sell it because they're trying to keep themselves a secret. And somehow from that, they're able to, I don't know, have the greatest technology and the greatest economy. Okay. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Let's say it makes sense. Why are they keeping it to themselves? Well, this is a dilemma that they touch on and they decide, you know what, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should help the rest of the world. So here they are in Africa. Africa, a place with an AIDS pandemic, with child soldiers, and they now say we're going to go help the world with our wealth and our technology, and they don't help the people around them in such dire circumstances. They go to America and open a rec center or something in a slum. What? I can't, my opinion of it does not match the world's hype. Enough of that, because now we get to the movie I just saw yesterday, the latest one, the 19th film, Infinity War. This is where all of these lead to. Everybody comes together, including Guardians of the Galaxy. They finally all mesh up. Except Ant-Man. Why? And Hawkeye. I don't care about Hawkeye. Hawkeye kind of sucks. Plus he kind of retired or something and went back to his family. You know, the family that he endangered by bringing all the Avengers to his family's hidden away house when they were being chased. Yeah, maybe we don't need Hawkeye anymore. So, okay, he's not there. But, yeah, where's Ant-Man? I don't know. Where's Adam Warlock? Where's Pip the Troll? Where's Silver Surfer? It's a long movie. It's 2.5 hours, and they cut like 15 minutes of footage too, including like half of the scenes in the trailers. From what I hear, Adam Warlock, he's still in his cocoon from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He's not going to come out of the cocoon until Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which comes out after Avengers 4, which is the second part to this Infinity War. Now, before we get that, there are 2 more films, films 20 and 21, but they don't take place between Avengers 3 and Avengers 4. They come out between them, but they don't take place between them. The first of which is the second Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. It actually takes place after the first Ant-Man movie, but before Avengers 3. The next movie after that, Captain Marvel. This movie takes place in the 90s. Then we'll get Avengers 4. I've worn myself out. That's it. Goodbye. Hey everyone, time to make a new video. Now, this is a follow-up to a previous episode of my Kevin On series that I filmed back in May about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now it is November, so whatever the math is, it's later in the year. I had seen Black Panther in the theater. It had not come out on home video. It is now out on home video. Here it is. There it goes. And I had also just gone to see Avengers 3, Infinity War. That too is now on home video. I already talked about those. Now, not out at the time, but did come out in theaters, and I didn't get a chance to go see it until it came to home video, is Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp. What do I think about this movie? I don't think I liked it. I don't understand the science. How if you are made up of atoms, can you shrink yourself down smaller than an atom? What are you made up of then? And then also, if you make yourself, what is it? He makes himself 65 feet tall? Where does the extra mass come from? So what's next? In a few months, we will be into 2019, and the next movie coming out is called Captain Marvel. After Captain Marvel is Avengers 4. That film will end that story cycle. They have it broken up into phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, which I think it's like 6 films, and then 10 films. What do I think is going to be happening in the next story cycle? We know about one thing so far. 2 things. The first one is the second new Spider-Man film. That will be the first film in the new story cycle. What was the second thing that we know about the next story cycle? Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That was written and about to be filmed until they fired the writer-director James Gunn. So what do I think is coming after that? We have Tony Stark, Iron Man, and Rhodey, the War Machine. You got Steve Rogers, Captain America, and his buddy Falcon, and Bucky, the Winter Soldier. You got Thor and his brother Loki, Black Widow, Hawkeye, all the Guardians of the Galaxy. What happens to all these characters? Well, I think they're not coming back. We have Doctor Strange. He only has 1 movie so far, so we're going to get a Doctor Strange 2. We'll get a Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange 3. Black Panther, they just introduced him. His movie was a spectacular success. We're going to get a Black Panther 2 and a Black Panther 3. Captain Marvel, we haven't even gotten her first film yet. After it comes, we'll get a Captain Marvel 2 and a Captain Marvel 3. Ant-Man, we only have 2 so far. Let's get a third Ant-Man coming. And the Wasp, of course. And then more Avengers. We should get a new Fantastic Four movie. Let's have them fight who they actually fought in the first Fantastic Four comic book. They go to Monster Island, and they fight the Mole Man and all of his gigantic monsters. Now, who else? Who else? The X-Men. And of course, Namor the Submariner. I have one more thing to say. Bring us a Power Man and Iron Fist movie to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Cast them correctly and add them in. That's how you do it. Goodbye. Kenobi. The ObiWan Kenobi solo film. Now, when Disney said they were going to be coming out with the saga films, episodes 7, 8, and 9 every other year, and in the in-between years they were going to have these standalone films, the only film that everybody unanimously said they wanted was a Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone film, where he is a hermit on Tatooine watching over a young Luke from afar and maybe going off and having an adventure during that time or something. And Ewan McGregor also said, I'm on board, let's do this. And instead of doing that, they launched into a Boba Fett film under Josh Trank, who then was fired, and they shelved that, and now there's a new TV show coming out, The Mandalorian, which is that's what Boba Fett is. He's a Mandalorian. It's not about Boba Fett. It's about another guy in the same looking armor, and what have you, but it's Jon Favreau directing it. It looks good, and I'll take that in place of a Boba Fett film. Whatever, maybe Boba Fett will appear in it, because this takes place after Return of the Jedi. Okay, so I just got back from Avengers Endgame. It wraps everything up. 22 movies over 11 years. It is one complete, concise storyline. I don't see how this film can be topped. Not just this film, but this whole endeavor. It's pretty much a 50-hour story. Going forward, I'm sure it's real easy to figure out what various directions and tangents it can go in for future films, and all the new characters that will be brought in, including the one I'm most excited about, Shang-Chi, which is really the only new character-based film series that has been announced. I don't think something like this will ever happen again. Later on this year is an even longer story that will also be wrapping up with Star Wars Episode 9. That will be a 9-film, 42-year story. And there's, 2 films wedged in there, and lots of periphery things. But another end of an era with that. I guess a lot of things are getting wrapped up. Kind of like me, I wrapped up my venture into the Vault series. But I am involved in some new projects myself. The first one just came out yesterday. It is a 3D animated cartoon that I made. And we have filmed a lot of live action episodes as well that I've written and performed in, and created costumes and sets and what have you. The first one that we should see will be called Officer Songbird and the Super Mashed Potato Man, which we filmed 10 episodes of. And following that, we have Myrtle the Turtle, which is me with a turtle. We filmed 5 of the 10 episodes that I've written for that. And then following that, we have another series that I'm currently putting together, and that one's called Illustration Station. I'm actually thinking of some fun little videos to make that I think I'm going to call What Did I Just Read and What Did I Just Watch? I'm almost about back in school. It's a long process, but this will be my 3rd return to college, and that's going to take a long time to get through. Guess you just got to keep reinventing yourself to survive. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try my best. And I'll see you later. Hey, alright, it's the next morning, and I could not leave things the way I left them with yesterday's video about Avengers Endgame. I just got to talk about what I think is coming next in the MCU Phase 4 and beyond. There's no Stark. There's no more Stark technology to be new technology, so this will be interesting going forward. I'm pretty sure there'll be a 3rd film in that Spider-Man series. I want to see Scorpion, and then I also want to see Kraven the Hunter, and then finally the Rhino. And then I also put down Black Cat. That is the only girlfriend of Spider-Man that I ever really liked. She was really Spider-Man's girlfriend. She wasn't Peter Parker's girlfriend. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, James Gunn, now that he has been rehired to come back and make the final Guardians of the Galaxy film with the script he already wrote, I'm assuming they'll make a second Doctor Strange movie. I want to see the character Nightmare in it. I would also like them to bring in Mephisto. I'm assuming there'll be a Captain Marvel too. I guess they'll have that little girl, the daughter of her pilot friend. I think her name is Monica Rambeau. She grows up to become the only Captain Marvel that I'm actually familiar with. Now the other thing that they have talked about is a movie called The Eternals. I don't know anything about this. As for the Captain America universe, we have the Falcon, who is now the new Captain America. Captain America gives him the shield, and we still have the Winter Soldier. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is an upcoming series for Disney Plus, which is their streaming service, so like a TV show. It's not official, it's on the Wikipedia page. As far as a bad guy I would like to see, in that, the Taskmaster. Disney Plus has announced a series called Loki, about Loki. Loki is dead, so maybe this stems off from that part of Avengers Endgame where they go back in time to get the cosmic cube, or what do they call it? They call it the Tesseract in these films, and Loki steals it and vanishes. Okay, so Hawkeye. Hawkeye is now Ronin, which is basically Hawkeye with his bows and arrows and a sword and martial arts. So he's better than just Hawkeye. But he also has now trained his daughter in archery and is now calling her Hawkeye. So maybe she's the next Hawkeye. I don't know. As for now, there's no Black Widow anymore, but there is the rumor, nothing official, that there is an upcoming Black Widow movie. You know what? I'll believe it when I see it. Scarlet Witch, she's still around, and from what we saw in Avengers Endgame, looks like she's pretty much the most powerful Avenger there is. But Vision is dead. He's gone. On the Wikipedia page, it says that there's a Disney Plus series called WandaVision. I even heard something the other day on a podcast where it's supposed to be set in the 1950s. I don't know how any of that's going to play out. Again, I'll believe it when I see it. And lastly, Nick Fury is still alive. Of course, he's in his 70s now, so that's that. Now, what could we have for bad guys? Well, we have the Skrulls now. The most main Avengers bad guy ever was Kang the Conqueror. Bring in Galactus. Galactus is more powerful than Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet. Just Thanos on his own. But who is more powerful than the Infinity Stones? The Beyonder. So what's left? Namor, the Submariner. That is Marvel Comics' very first superhero. He was in the first issue of Marvel Comics #1, 1939, but he actually predates it. He came out in a giveaway comic a few months before that issue. He's a lot of things. He is the ruler of Atlantis, and he's super powerful and everything. I mean, he takes on the entire Fantastic Four by himself. He's also super rich and, a business tycoon and all these things. Who else? Kazar. Now, Kazar actually predates Namor because before Marvel was making comic books, they made pulp magazines. And in their pulp magazine, Marvel Tales, in 1936, 3 years before the first issue of Marvel Comics, they had a character, Kazar, who then appeared in Marvel Comics #1. Lastly, Moon Knight. He's Marvel's Batman. I think everyone would like him if you don't know who he is. If you do, you're probably saying, yeah, that'd be cool. There you go. That's it. That's the MCU Phase 4 and more, according to Kevin. And now I'm going to sign off and go do some stuff. See ya. Kevin's log, stardate 2019-85.18. I'm back in school again. I graduated high school in 1992. Actually 91, I graduated early, but I'm class of 92. Then I went back to school when I was 25 years old to take massage therapy and anatomy. It took 6 months, I got certified, got the job, didn't like it, moved on. When I was 29, I went to the Art Academy College of San Francisco. I don't know, it doesn't exist anymore. I took it online. I only did it for a semester. I was figuring my skills lie in art. I'm not landing a job in it. Maybe if I get a degree, I could become an art teacher. It's a professional career, but I ran out of money. I went back to school again at 32. I went to a vocational school called High Tech North. That was because I was working at the phone company and a position opened that I wanted to take, and this was a requirement for it. I didn't get the position though. I went to somebody who didn't take this class. He had connections. Didn't matter. I got another position that I liked even better in another department. That was a certification. Again, that one took 10 weeks. Now, I did go back to college, again at 38 years old, and stayed till I was 40. I went to Full Sail University for computer animation. I did 7 of the 8 semesters, and I had a straight A+ average, 4.0. A+ in every single class for the full 3 years I was there. But I ran out of money and couldn't take the final semester, which I'm fine with, because in my time there I learned that I did not want a job in the field of computer animation. But now I am back in school. It's been another 5 years. Now here at 45, I am at Kaiser University. I'm taking nuclear medicine technology. Fingers crossed, I'll be graduating. School keeps getting more expensive every time I go back. This is quite an endeavor. I've made a few videos about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now it's all over with, and they've announced Phase 4 and Phase 4, which is 10 projects over the next 2 years, 2020 and 2021. 5 of them take place on TV, 5 of them are movies. That's all I got. See ya. You know, I haven't watched television in about 15 years, but my brother put that new Disney Plus streaming service on my TV a couple days ago on Thanksgiving, and I started watching that new show, The Mandalorian. Now, I had seen the Boba Fett cartoon in the Star Wars Holiday Special when it originally aired, but it didn't stick with me. I didn't know this character or whatever. But a couple of years later, 1980, I got the Boba Fett action figure for Christmas. I was at my friend Mike's house. We were playing Star Wars, and I brought my Boba Fett figure over, and he said, "Oh, did you get this in the store? You see, the rocket in the back of your figure, it's glued in there. If you had gotten the special early release that you mailed off for, the rocket would have fired out of his backpack." And I was like, "Oh man, I don't have the cool version." Actually, the mail-away version was originally supposed to have the rocket firing out, but it never did. It was glued in, and it was exactly the same as the kind that came in the store. That rocket-firing one wasn't released until 30 years later. I eventually got it. So here's Boba Fett, right? And there's the rocket in the back. Well, this version actually does have the rocket that fires out of the back. See, I got mine signed by 5 different people that played Boba Fett. Anyways, Boba Fett was just this bounty hunter character. 1988, I was talking to my friend Sean, and he said, Boba Fett wears the armor of the stormtroopers that were in the Clone Wars. And he is a character called a Mandalorian Super Commando. Boy, that's so cool. And how do you know this stuff? And where do you get this info that I don't have? Whatever. He got it from the Marvel Star Wars comic books. I had a couple as a kid, but now I have the entire run of all 106 issues. They're in these 3 big hardcover collections. This is the one with issue 68. You can see the cover here, and that tells the story of the Mandalorian Super Commandos, which came out in 1983, shortly after Return of the Jedi was in the theater. Here's the 3rd volume. They're all still in the shrink wrap. I need to unwrap them and read them at some point. That's where the story came from. It actually came even earlier. It came in a Star Wars fan club newsletter called Bantha Tracks in the late 70s. Basically, when they were making Empire Strikes Back, George Lucas wanted his designers, Ralph McQuarrie, the artist, to come up with a new look for the stormtroopers. He was calling them the Super Commandos, but they were just stormtroopers. And what they did was they created what ended up being Boba Fett. He was all in white, and George liked the look of him so much. He said, "No, you know what? Let's just make this a single character, and we'll create something out of him. We'll make him a bounty hunter. We'll incorporate him in the story. We'll just leave the stormtroopers the way they are." Well, now they have a TV show, The Mandalorian. And it's not about Boba Fett. It's about another one of these guys that wears the armor. It's pretty cool. I like it. And now it's going to have all the new Marvel shows. I'm going to try them out. I even started watching a show. It's on normal television, or HGTV is the channel. You know, they bought the old Brady Bunch house, and they got all the Brady kids together, and they rebuilt it to look like how it looked like on the show. Anyways, I started watching that. It's funny, I'm watching the first episode, and during the commercial break, they play a commercial that I'm in. You know, the Disney Imagineering, the show, whatever, they go into the creation of all the theme parks and stuff. One of the episodes, they start showing the creation of Epcot. In that same year, 1981, my friend Mike, that he told me I got the wrong Boba Fett, he went to Epcot right when it opened, and he came over my house the next day wearing this hat, the Figment the Dragon. This is the mascot of Epcot, and they only made this hat during the first year of the park. I can't play this thing.